All right, check if see if we're live. Probably, but you never know. Yep, we are live. So hello and welcome. All right, Siri, you do your thing. I don't want to steal your thing.
Whoa, someone made it in the 0 second mark. Look at that.
I know it's zero. I didn't even advertise it. I was lazy.
I
Hello.
love hedgehogs.
Oh, two people, Abzo and Dragon the Hedgehog.
You had him at Utami.
Tommy Four Belts.
All right. Well, might as well. Let me take a sip of my coffee. I thought we would be able to ease on into this.
I know. Usually, it's 15 minutes in, and there's like, oh, here's a person. We can finally start here.
All right, cool, dude. Um, well, we'll just we are gonna do a podcast. And it's a seek part two of a podcast that we did on Utami Hayashishita, sort of a deep dive on the girl. And we decided instead of just doing a podcast, might as well put it on a live stream. And if anyone else was hanging out and bored on a Friday night, come say hi. So here we are. So
Yeah,
with that, I'd like to say, welcome to the Stardom Fan Podcast. I'm Mark.
I'm Juno.
And today we are going to talk about Utami Hayashishita. Part two.
Oh, I'm gonna
And
share my screen here.
yeah, man.
Probably an audio, right? You don't need. I mean, there's gonna be audio anyway. It doesn't matter. Yeah, we did part one of like a Meet the Wrestler type series where we were talking about Utami, and turns out she's like one of the most interesting people on the planet. And it went too long, so this is part two. And you figured, why not, while we were recording, just make it a live stream if anyone cares to watch.
Yeah, the part one will be done with will be put up on YouTube eventually. Juno is working on a whole bunch of uh adding videos and pictures and a whole bunch of funny stuff like that to it to actually be pretty cool with
Yeah, it
I don't know. It's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, it's the longest project I think I've worked on for YouTube besides a deep fake video that you'll never see the light of day cuz of WWE.
Oh, well, that's funny.
They
We'll
just
just have to put it on
copyright.
the website.
Yeah, they copyright claim everything. So that'll probably that's a good idea. So where do we get to in the last part? We got all the way up to
Hold on a second. Out of everything, I'll be able to get the beginning half of this. But with hold on a second. With all that being said, I forgot to record on my end for the audio. That's funny. Yeah, well we
should I put some like I don't all I have is I never know what to put up on my screen. It's just like Google picture like images. I never know what to put up.
oh, it probably doesn't matter. I mean, we're just sort of recording. If anyone wants to chit chat or chime in on stuff, that's cool. But
I guess
just sort of
it's a
it's
perfect
just sort of live podcast. It's like it's the old AM radio days. It's all good.
it's a good opportunity to
Just
have
leave the lady up.
yep.
I didn't even know you could zoom in like that. See, I don't even know how to use internets.
I'm
Cool,
happy
man.
Kyrie's still around. I loved her in WWE. Yeah,
Hell yeah.
it's she's had some awful luck. She gets I think she had her eardrum blown out in her second match back, and then they build her up as like, oh, let's make her a big deal where she only shows up on the pay-per-views, and then she's finally about to go for the white belt, which they've been building forever. And she gets COVID, unfortunately.
You should put on for a second if you have it handy on your computer. Is well, granted, we just started, so if you don't mind, I would like to do the intro again just for my podcast audio feed. But you should put up. Someone said they'd love to meet Utami, and you have like the autograph proving that. I mean, you guys are practically going steady.
Yeah, yeah. She like I got a signed Utami Nakano photo, and I don't, I'm learning Japanese, but I think it says like if you ever need help like moving or some money, like just don't hesitate to ask.
Yeah, I think it had the address. It was just like, no, next time you're in, you know,
Next time you're in.
Tokyo, come say hi. And with all that fun, once again, I'd like to welcome you to the Stardom Fan Podcast. I'm Mark,
I'm Juno.
and today is part two of our deep dive into Utami Hayashishita. The first part, we started off basically talking about her growing up, why she got into wrestling, her first 2 years, including the greatest first year of anybody that I could think of in a wrestling, right? And then
Yeah,
we left off at November 15th, 2020.
yeah. Well, yeah. So 2018, the greatest probably rookie year of any wrestler ever, maybe. 2019, she was on like the same superstar path. Oh, here's a good picture. And she hurts her thumb. So that was the first part of that year. She comes back, hurts a different finger, and then by the end of the year, she ends up, I think, following it up, winning the 5 star. I think that's where we left off, right?
Yeah, yeah, she wins the 5 star, and in between that and her championship opportunity, she ends up winning the Goddesses title, this time with Saya Kamatani over a weight of tie. And yeah, then it gets really exciting. And you had I haven't had a chance to go back and rewatch what was rated best match of the year for 2020, but I believe you did. Juno, this is all 2020, right? How did they do this with fans? Do you recall? Or you went back and watched it?
Nah, there
Did
was
they sort of
fans.
reopen by this time?
I think there was fans.
Yeah, because Japan, I remember from watching a lot of New Japan, they reopened, like they completely shut down, which we never did for our wrestling. But they shut down completely, and if I remember, somewhere around May, maybe June, they came back, but limited arenas, the mass, the no chanting or anything like that.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if that was like when they brought fans back or before they shut down.
Yeah, so you watched that match
Actually,
in 2020 before you talk about results or anything. Did it seem quiet or weird?
no, I think it
And I asked
was.
that because we were watching a lot of her old stuff like from 2018, 2019, and the crowds were loud. So if watching a match in 2020 is like a different world.
No, there was people there, so it must have been before.
That's impossible though.
I have no
Because then
idea.
the world shut down around
Well, maybe
April,
they
and
maybe
this
is
was
that
like later in the year. Yeah,
maybe
they must have shut down and then came back, and yeah, because this is after they came back. They would have came back sometime in the summertime, probably.
maybe it was just for like at least maybe it was for like the big show.
Yeah, they did like a no people gate and everything. Yeah, you know what? That I didn't even really put two and two together when I was doing the research that this was 20 like her best match ever happened during the COVID year.
Yeah, so we got to her winning the 5 star over Himika, who that year was a monster, had the most points out of anyone in the whole tournament. And then the final match, she um she goes to a draw with Shiri and then has to immediately like I think she gets like a 2 minute break while they do the awards and get back in the ring to face Himika, like who's been on a tear, who's and Himika had over an hour's rest.
It's really cool and crazy all at the same time that they did that. Like the way the rest happened and all that.
Yo, start New Age Weeb Stardom is my favorite wrestling. Not even close. It's really good.
Yeah, 1A, 1B. It's the Japanese scene is where I'm caught up in. Like I was like in AEW for a very long time and trying to keep up
Utami,
on it, but I mean,
what's up, Utami?
Especially with the G1 and the 5 star going on now, it's like I don't have time for American wrestling. Watch the good stuff. And if anyone's watching, no spoilers on the G1, please. I'm watching it tomorrow. I'm a little behind.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still partly, I'm a Cult of the Cornet member, so I'm still partly on the path or that mindset where I'm like, why do I got to go all the way to to Japan to watch wrestling when like just do it good in America? So I'm like, I'm not totally in the New Japan, but it's still, even though Okada's like my favorite wrestler.
Yeah, well, they figured it out. It's all good stuff. All right. Uh, did you want to hop right into the cliffhanger of the last episode? Was November 15th, World of Stardom Championship match. The winner of the 5 star GP gets to go up against the champion, who ends up being the Stardom icon, who she hasn't beaten yet in her short career, Mayu Iwatani.
um, is that who she beat?
Yeah? I don't know. You said you had like 5 notes on it, and 5 pages of notes on it, so I didn't want to bury your lead.
Oh, I saw, yeah, on the her she wins the 5 star. Oh, I'm just all out of sorts. I thought you were still talking about the 5 star. Yeah, she wins the 5 star, and then she challenges Mayu for the world title. And
Well, your brain got confused because you started watching Tam Nakano blowing people up.
it's very distracting for sure. I was also looking for. I got like paper notes here. If you can hear that.
Yeah, I do the same thing. It's like nothing beats paper. It makes it's something organizing. It makes it feel more organized than having 18 tabs up. I found out.
That being said, I am pulling up a Word document that I re-put it on. Um, yeah. So I thought it would be fun because it's like you can't gloss over winning the world title, especially in a company where that means something. So I
No,
so I wanted to do. I did something I thought would be fun where I took notes like Granny, if you guys know, from Brian and Vinny show, and I figured I'd just break down the match.
I thought of that's a fun callback, and not only that, but to break down probably one of the greatest matches of all time, Utami versus Mayu in 2020. If you're gonna do it Granny style, technically you would have to. If you had 5 pages of notes, you would have to start on page 2, then go to page 1, start reading page 3, completely lose page 4, and then finally catch up on page 5.
Well, mine actually makes sense, so that's not gonna happen. Actually, all right. I was gonna describe what they look like for the podcast. Maybe I could pull it up. Mayu.
Hi, Enigma V4, everybody in the chat. Talk for Glory. Search that on YouTube. It's my second favorite channel.
There we go. Yeah. So first of all, before we talk about the match, we have to talk about the way they come out because Utami comes out and she's in like a studded out leather duster. She's got the Queen's Quest mask on. She's got the Queen's Quest flag, and her outfit here. I thought it kind of looked like Wonder Woman or like a gladiator. Looks really cool. And then Mayu comes
Nice.
out and she's got a mask with a tail on the mask. And then she didn't at 2020 she didn't have a tail on her like butt, but she did have one on the mask, so that was a little bit baffling. But she comes
Pretty
out in like
too.
a bedazzled, feathered, like laser light show. It was crazy. Oh, and she came out with this will be important later. She was using the original World of Stardom title with like the big wings on it
Oh, that's cool.
as like being in the Stardom original rookie class. She's like, I'm gonna use the old belt. Here we go, this belt.
I like it.
So they both looked like larger than life, and the match before the match starts, Mayu goes to shake Utami's hand before the bell, and Utami just like shrugs and like laughs her off. And the ref's like, "No shake, okay." Rings the bell. The bell rings, and they just stare at each other for a minute. Mayu goes for a handshake again. This time, Utami accepts. It's a little mind games. They lock up for a test of strength, and Mayu actually overpowers Utami.
Ah, get out of here.
They lock up a second time because Mayu threw Utami to the floor. They lock up a second time, and this time you got this young superstar Utami, and like instead of just going for power, they start grappling. Utami out grapples Mayu. Um, Mayu kicks it up a gear, and now she like the feeling out process is starting to be over, and Mayu starts out wrestling Utami. Now Utami, she kicks it up a gear and starts to do overpower Mayu. Like he thought that was all my strength, and basically they just break. And then they look at each other for a minute. They lock up again. Utami forces Mayu into the ropes. The ref calls for a break. And Utami does like that thing Okada does, where she just slowly lifts the hands up and backs away.
Did she give her a little slap at the end? A little
Well,
slap on the chest? Like
they
they're
lock.
there.
They go back to the center of the ring. They lock up again. This time, Mayu forces Utami to the ropes. The ref calls for the break. Mayu slowly takes her hands off Utami, gives her a little smirk, and it slaps Utami with the hardest slap I think I've ever seen in my life.
Nice.
She's being being a little shit. And then Utami responded from that by running Mayu over like a Mack truck with the shoulder tackle. Utami goes for another shoulder tackle, but Mayu counters it, grabs her arm, and puts her in a Kimura lock. Utami drags herself to the ropes and for the rope break. Now Mayu, while Utami's, nursing the arm, goes to work taking apart her arm with kicks, arm bars, and all sorts of Zack Saber joint manipulation stuff.
Oh, that's awesome.
Mayu eventually shoots Utami into the ropes. Utami comes back and hits a drop kick, and now Utami's in control. Body slam, body slam, body slam. Cover, kick out. Now Utami puts on a camel clutch. Mayu crawls to the ropes. Utami, not letting Mayu back up, puts her in a head scissor choke, but Mayu gets to the rope. Now Utami gets up and after Mayu gets to the rope and just starts stomping the hell out of the back of Mayu's head and neck.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You're
So
painting a great picture of a probably 20-minute match. I like it.
yeah. I worked hard on this. So she starts kicking the hell out of like just stomping on her. She backs off. She waits for Mayu to start pulling herself up on the ropes. Runs at her. Utami runs at her and hits a drop kick to the back of Mayu's neck. And a couple elbows. Finally, Utami climbs to the second turnbuckle and hits Mayu with another drop kick to the back of her neck and sends Mayu flying face first to the mat.
I used to hate those. Remember when sidebar, like those drop kicks to the back? Apparently it's become commonplace, or it is or was, because when was it Sasha Banks who paralyzed Paige with a drop kick to the back of the back, right? I was like,
Yeah,
and that
but
knocked her back out of wrestling. I'm like, what a stupid move. And now it's like it happens all the time.
the problem, see, this is the thing. The problem is it's not Mayu taking the bump. Like when you're Mayu Iwatani and you can,
Oh, well, that's right. She's also Gumby.
she is Gumby. There's a
All right, so
like
drop
this.
kick to the back of the head.
Yeah, look at like this for the chat here, this gif, and here she goes, just landing on it looks like Tam. And why does she take a face bump? because she can. Yeah, so she takes one of those brutal drop kicks, and she sends her flying face first. Mayu crawls to the corner, and she goes to pull herself up using like the turnbuckle. Utami charges at Mayu, but Mayu dodges. She rolls Utami up and hits her with a kick to the mouth that takes control. Now Utami at this point from this like big kick is probably checking to see if she's like has any teeth left and is leaning on the bottom rope. Mayu hits the ropes and comes flying back into Utami with a drop kick that takes Utami's head off and sends her sprawling onto the apron. Mayu screams and gets the crowd pumped up. She picks Utami up while they're on the apron. The ref is like pleading for them to get back into the ring. Mayu just looks at the ref and just ignores them and spikes Utami with a tombstone pile driver, sending her like lifeless body to the floor.
Oh God!
At this
You say
point,
a tombstone?
yeah,
I don't see. She doesn't do that very often, if at all, anymore. No.
she did it versus Thekla in their SWA match. So at that point, the ref Utami goes like just like a sack of rocks straight to the floor, not moving. The ref jumps out of the ring, checks on Utami and makes sure she's okay. Now, before Utami starts to pull herself up using the ring apron, and not wanting to give Utami a chance to rest more than she has to, because the ref literally shoves Mayu out of the way and jumps out to check on Utami. Mayu hits the ropes again. She goes flying and tosses herself recklessly with a suicide dive, taking out herself, Utami, and about 4 other girls at ringside.
Mm.
And at this point, the ref starts his count. He's like, all right. Which I noticed that's a lot in Stardom, where the ref likes to let a lot of stuff go, and then they do something like he thinks is, all right, if I don't start counting, getting this back in the ring, one of them's going to die.
The Kevin Kelly says it best. He's like, well, in Japan, the referees have a long whistle, if you will. They'll let a lot of stuff go as long as it's on the outside of the ring, but eventually he's got to start counting and get the action back in the ring.
So the ref starts his count, and they're both down at this point. Mayu gets up first, and eventually she throws Utami back in the ring at the count of 15 because she doesn't want to win by count out. Big mistake. She had Utami beat. Mayu goes to the top rope and hits a big missile dropkick to Utami, but as she's landing, it's a pretty rough landing, and Mayu like slams like her head back of her head on the mat. So she crawls over to Utami, holding like the back of her head. I don't know who got the worst of that move. Mayu goes for the pin, and Utami kicks out at like 2 3/4. Mayu hits a bridging German suplex, and Utami kicks out again. Mayu calls for the moonsault. She starts to climb the ropes with her back turned. Utami pops up desperately, knowing that that's probably going to end the match if she gets hit by that move. She grabs Mayu from behind, picks her up off the ropes, carries her to the center of the ring, and hits a release German suplex, flinging Mayu like 10 feet. And now both girls are down. Utami gets up first. This time, now she drags Mayu to the apron.
Awesome.
For a little revenge, and spikes her with an air raid crash, or if you're a Drew McIntyre or Sheamus fan, a Celtic cross. Utami, the way that she lands, she ends up on the floor. She positions
again. There's a lot of floor action for this.
Yeah, for sure. So she lands on the floor. She basically just landed on the apron. Utami positions Mayu so her head's dangling off the apron, and just begins kicking her in the face a bunch of times. Followed by she backs up, gets a running start, hits a big running drop kick, like punting Mayu's head with enough force that it sends Mayu spinning 90 degrees. So now she's laying flat on the apron. So Mayu is somehow still conscious from that. She starts getting up. Utami comes from behind and puts a sleeper hold on Mayu and drags her from the apron over the top rope into the center of the ring. They're standing at this. So she drags her over the top rope. They're standing. Mayu tries dragging both of them to the rope for the break, and Utami drags her to the center of the ring. She tries that for a couple minutes, not a couple minutes, a couple times, and then finally Utami, getting sick of that shit, drags her to the center of the ring and just starts spinning her. You know how Lady C does her spin?
Yes.
Yeah, but it's a sleeper hold, so by the neck.
Love it.
She does it about 4 or 5 spins, stops, and without letting go of the sleeper hold, just slams her with a judo flip.
Oh, it's so cool.
So now she's got
I tell you,
this. Yeah.
for someone, we say it because we watched a couple of these matches and we watched a lot of highlights of her first year, and this is 2020. She's only been wrestling for barely 2 years, right? And to rely on a whole bunch of that black belt judo, that stuff looks so good.
Oh
So
yeah.
whenever there's like the judo and she's just laying them down hard, but flat on the back, I mean, that is good wrestling.
Yeah, she is a, I think you told me, a black belt in judo. So she uses a lot of that, especially in her early matches where she's not confident in the wrestling moves yet.
Yeah, so it's like I might not be able to do a lot, but I can throw you around for a very long time. And she's apparently got cardio for days since day one.
Yeah, so she judo slams Mayu, still got the sleeper hold in. She's like on Mayu's back. Mayu's trying to drag them both over to the rope. And Utami does something I don't think I've ever seen before. So Mayu starts inching her way to the bottom rope while they're on the ground. And right as Mayu starts to like stretch her foot out, to get the rope, Utami takes her leg and lifts Mayu's leg up. Like, nuh-uh, you're not getting the rope, bitch.
Oh, that's cool.
And then Mayu eventually gets her leg free and lunges out to the rope. But I just thought that was like so cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of that cool stuff, and that's what's fun about like the really good wrestlers and Stardom is you'll see stuff like that. And Starlight's been doing a lot of fun stuff with her submission like that, right?
Yeah.
So when someone starts reaching for the rope, it's like, no, I'm not going to just let you reach. I'm going to grab that arm and I'm going to pull that behind your neck. It's
Or
like, why would I let you do this?
or simple stuff where they're like pinning them by the ropes and they go and they tuck the arm. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Tuck the arm so you can't reach the rope. It's like,
yeah.
stuff that makes sense. But most wrestlers or companies are too lazy to teach the basics, which is why Stardom and, my opinion, New Japan are amazing because before you're even allowed to go in the ring, you better know how to do the basics.
Yeah.
I mean, God forbid, right? God forbid you can do a Boston Crab and a drop kick, and your strikes don't look like horse shit. All right,
Oh.
back on track.
Also, if you're reading the
I just like that a lot, honestly.
what?
Just the little things
Yeah,
like
like
reaching for the rope and then not letting it happen. I'm like, I mean, that's the type of stuff that's just different.
this type of stuff where you're so good, you're thinking about stuff like that no one else even they're just worried about doing the move, getting the pin. And they're like, no, wait, I can hook this arm, kick that leg out, or little stuff.
Hmm.
You're gonna. I'm reading this off my phone, by the way, so I can't look at the chat.
Oh, that's cool. I'm interacting with some of these guys.
Oh,
They're
that's good.
fun. Enigma's here. You got a couple people saying they just started, and your videos are the reason that everything is awesome.
R.
Especially. Eris sub says, "Hey man, your videos helped me out." And Enigma throwing us a bone.
Oh,
It says, "We are awesome, and of course we're awesome." And Hendrix agrees. Thanks, guys.
and feel free to comment how awesome we are to your heart's content.
Yeah, and then if you, I mean, we disabled the dislike button, so also feel free to hit that as much as you want because we're not gonna see it.
YouTube took out the dislike button, so now
Yeah.
no one feels bad. All right, so Mayu gets her foot. She's in the sleeper hold. She lunges. She gets the rope break. Utami doesn't waste any time. She lets go. She picks Mayu up from behind by the waist, looking for like she's got the German suplex pin,
Hmm.
and
I
this
love that.
is a little. You're gonna have to picture this with me, all right? So while Utami is holding Mayu up by the waist, Mayu starts to wiggle free, and she like desperately, she almost gets free, and basically Tommy's got her from behind by the waist, and Mayu starts to wheelbarrow crawl her way to the ropes. She gets one hand on the bottom rope, another hand on the second rope, like she's climbing up the ropes. And Utami says, "Yeah, fuck that rope break," and just yanks her off the ropes and hits her bridging German and plants her for the pin.
That was the win.
No, 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 no. So she's pinning
Oh,
my
I was gonna say
Mayu.
because there's a piece of me that would have actually probably been upset watching that. Like, ref, you gotta break that.
Hey, Utami broke it. Maybe it's one of those deals where the ref will kick a foot off the ropes if he doesn't think it's a good enough grabs. Like, is it really a rope break if your opponent can just pull you off of it?
Fair enough.
So she's doing her bridging German, and Mayu doesn't even kick out. She just like slumps over and like does like a rolls over under her head, like under her stomach. One of
Mm.
those.
Yeah, because she's Gumby. She just instead of kicking out, she just sort of folds.
Well, it's not even a kick out. She just got German suplex. She's got where like their head and neck are on the ground, and so are their feet.
Yeah,
And she just kind of like finishes the what do you call it? Somersault? Am I
yeah. I
dumb?
just picture her folding in half
Yeah, just
because
folding in
Mayu
half.
can do that.
So that didn't work. So Tommy picks Mayu over her head, looking for her Argentine backbreaker submission hold. Mayu wiggles to Tommy's back, and first of all, I gotta say that Utami is just a beast to be able to have a grown woman be able to climb on her like a jungle gym. Mayu climbs like onto Utami's back and reverses her backbreaker with a crucifix bomb. You know that move. Drives Utami to the mat, and Utami kicks out at like 2.8. It was a close one. But
That's so. What's the crowd sound like with their COVID protocols? Are they accidentally making noise?
yeah, oh yeah, I love the Japanese crowd. It's like it almost means more when it's dead silent and you just hear like a
Yeah,
gasp, like the
yeah,
air's leaving the building.
yeah. That's so cool.
So you might be asking yourself, like, wait, that was like almost the end of the match. Like I've been talking about Utami brutalizing Mayu for like 10 minutes now, and she got like a 2.8, 2.9. Well, that's because it wasn't like a holy shit. How did Utami kick out of that? Because Utami's face sold it. Like, did this chick just this bitch just climb me like a jungle gym and crucifix bomb me? Like she couldn't believe it. So both these girls, they get up from that pin, and it's kind of like a turning point in the match where they're looking to gain momentum, and they start doing the thing where they start trading blows.
Oh, the little boo yays. Are they yay yays? I mean, everyone's a fan favorite at this point.
Yeah, they start doing that, but it's not your standard. Bouilliers hit each other back and forth a bunch of times to see who can take it, right? because Mayu hits Utami, and then Utami hits Mayu, and then they give each other a look like, "Oh, we're doing this." And then there was about 3 hits because Mayu hits Utami, Utami hits Mayu, Mayu hits the floor, knockout
That's
blow.
cool.
The ref literally shoves Utami out of the way and dives over, covering Mayu, and checks on her and making sure she didn't just get knocked out.
You
Utami,
know, you're the Stardom icon when you sold to the point that the ref is worried that you're unconscious or she's unconscious. One of the two is true.
yeah, but it's like they both get up from like the pin attempt, and you can't just because you got to hit each other once or twice. Let everyone know like, oh, we're about to. Ugh, it's so cringe. You say it. Say bouye.
Well, I don't know. That's just something I always because they hit one
Yeah,
person hits and they go
boo,
boo, and the other person
yay.
hits and they go yay. I don't know what people call it. I just like to call them the boo yays.
Yeah, but you got to do it a couple times to like let your opponent and everyone know like, oh, this is what we're doing. We're about to
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
go blow for blow.
Yeah, it's really
Except
good when they start on the floor and they start booyahing from their knees all the way to start standing up.
except Mayu hits Utami, and then Utami just does a knockout blow to Mayu. Like, it wasn't even close. But Utami rushes over and she just shoves the ref out of the way. Like, she's getting a little handsy with the ref. She's getting a little risky with the rules, like just yanking Mayu off the ropes. She picks up Mayu and she hits her with another Celtic cross and covers her. Mayu kicks out at like 2.999, and
Mm,
Utami's face is like, I cannot believe she just kicked out of that.
awesome.
At this point, Utami's only got one more move in her arsenal, right? So she calls her shot like Babe Ruth, picks up Mayu for her spinning razor's edge,
Yeah.
picks her up, lifts her up over her head. Mayu wiggles free. Utami turns around. Super kick!
Who doesn't love a Mayu super kick?
Followed by Mayu jumps from the ground onto Utami's shoulders for a reverse poison rana. Now that's a
Jesus.
Mayu special. And Mayu rolls up Utami, and I'm telling you, like, that 2.9999, you should round up because that was 3. The ref.
Just round
Yeah, it was a
up.
3 count.
Like, well, maybe.
Utami goes to her knee, like she starts to get back up after that. She gets to her knees, and Utami or Mayu just does a roundhouse kick, takes Utami's head off.
That's awesome.
Mayu picks up Utami, and she hits her with a German suplex, bridged, but that's not enough. Now Mayu calls for her moonsault a second time. Remember the first time she goes for it, Utami dropped Mayu on her head. She calls for the moonsault. She goes to the top rope. Picture perfect, soaring through the air. Mayu nails it, but it's not enough. Now
Yes.
Mayu, she's only thinking like there's only one move I haven't tried yet. She goes for her finisher, the dragon suplex. She gets Utami from behind. Utami
Oh,
reverses it,
could I?
puts Mayu in a sleeper hold.
Before that's how Mayu beat them in their first match. They in the 2018 G1. Mayu beat her with that dragon suplex pin thing, right? So this time, she goes for the same finish, and Utami's like, "No, no, no, been here, done that."
Yeah, gets her in another sleeper hold, which she doesn't do that nearly enough. I love that about Utami's arsenal. Like when in doubt, just choke a bitch out.
Yes.
So I think this is maybe the third time she's put her in a sleeper hold, and where am I? Lost my notes.
Well, while you're catching yourself up, I think I might have just learned something interesting in the chat. Enigma might be a New Yorker.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
should hang out.
Maybe.
Go to what is it, ESW show?
I don't hang out with the Zumi fans.
There's two type of people in this world.
Azumi fans and non-Azumi fans.
We
And
call them we
Azumi fans and everybody else.
Azumi fans and normies.
Oh God. Honestly, judging by every time we say something bad about Azumi and all the hate we get, I'm starting to think that we're not the normal ones. But I'm
Uh,
sticking to my guns.
Even if I'm wrong, I'll never admit it.
I'll never. I've admitted that I liked her for about 3 weeks. That's 1 week longer than I liked Koguma.
That's like Mac from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. He says, I don't have to change my opinion because I'm an American and that's my right. I'm dug in. And I will not change my mind regardless of the facts presented before me. Anyways. No, unless you had something to say.
No, because now he's just fucking trolling me. Azumi has a better chance of getting the red belt before Utami gets it back. Ah, he knows how to get to us. Oh no.
When
All right,
Azumi
back.
start when Azumi starts wearing red, then we'll know we'll be in trouble. Ever notice
There's only
that?
one leader of Queen's Quest
Is that like a rule you have to wear red when you're the
to be the champion.
yeah?
The past 2 years, apparently.
Or do they just the girls just like accessorizing with the belt?
I just like the fact I think he's fucking with me right now. All right, are
Definitely.
you back? Back where you did you find your spot, Grandma?
Yeah, I lost my
Granny.
page. I did lose my page.
Yes.
Mayu goes for her dragon suplex. Utami reverses it and gets Mayu in another sleeper. Mayu nearly gets to the rope. Utami drags her back to the center of the ring. And Judo Flip slams her onto the ground again. I love that
Yes.
move.
When in doubt.
Um, she doesn't hang on to the sleeper hold. Now she just puts her in a guillotine choke. Mayu starts fighting her way back standing and fights for the rope, but Utami hits her with a neck breaker. Utami puts Mayu in another guillotine choke, and this time it's a guillotine choke. Utami's got her back like flat on the mat with her legs wrapped around Mayu, so Mayu has to drag Utami's full weight if she wants to get to the ropes. Um, at this point in the match, Mayu doesn't have the strength to do that, so like she literally can't. She tries, she's like flailing around. Mayu's head starts literally turning purple, and to be honest, so is Utami. She's like squeezing Mayu's head like she
Oh,
wants to pop it.
that's awesome.
The ref starts like pleading with Mayu, telling her like, "Hey, you got to do something. You don't do something, I gotta call it." And then like out of desperation, Mayu just wraps her arms around Utami in a bear hug and just starts rolling them both over into the ropes.
That's
Utami
awesome.
looks pissed, excited, in control, cool, royal, beautiful.
Damn
She
right.
picks up Mayu, hits her with the suplex, goes for the cover. Mayu, remember, she just literally had the life choked out of her, lets out like a blood curdling scream, and she does the kind of kick out where it's not even a kick out, where it's just like pure adrenaline and they use like their whole body and they just like hulk it out and just power themselves their shoulder up.
Yeah, it's just a slow motion.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, 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 yeah.
That's the only noise that can be made to describe it. It's like, how would you describe it? Like.
Mayu's in trouble. Utami picks up Mayu and hits her with a torture rack bomb, and
Yes.
somehow Mayu kicks out.
Icon.
Yeah.
With icon problems.
I'll say like that. Yeah, you were talking about the crowd, like where you literally hear the air like leave the building when she kicks out, where they're all like, and no one was more surprised that Mayu kicked out than Mayu. Like her face.
She's so funny when she does that. She starts looking at the ref. Two, two, two. Oh, thank God.
Yeah, so Mayu's got literally nothing left in the tank. Utami goes to pick Mayu up again. Um, yeah, okay. Mayu Utami goes to pick up Mayu again. This hit her spinning razor's edge, but Mayu reverses it into a roll up, and I'm telling you, 2 point. It's a 3 count, and like holy shit, the ref actually like did one of those things where his hands coming down for three. Utami kicks out, and the ref does like an alligator roll, so his hand doesn't hit the mat.
Cool.
So yeah, even watching this match back, like for a split second, I was like, man, I thought Mayu was gonna steal it, even though I obviously know she didn't win the match.
you know, you know what? That's how you know good wrestling, because especially in Stardom, with Stardom World being, all the shows go up. I don't know, days, if not a week after the results, or after it actually happened. So there's often spoilers. So you always know what's happening, right? And then it's like you're still in the middle of the match and you get caught up in it because it's so good. And you're like, oh, and then after you pop for something, you're like, oh, I'm so dumb. I know she can't win.
Yeah, I know the
Maybe this time on the third time I watch it, it is a 3 count.
I know your future. Uh, yeah, but there's like it was such a close. Like I'm telling you, the ref takes a bump so his hand doesn't hit the mat for three. I'm thinking like, oh shit, like well maybe I was wrong. Maybe this is the wrong show. Maybe she, she gets a rematch or something. Because there's always that possibility. So they both get up after that. Mayu almost steals the match, and
That is a good call. What are the chances? So you're halfway through, 3/4 of 99% of the way through this match, and you're like, huh, maybe I just clicked on the wrong match. She does have a win.
yeah, like that's how
I might
close
have
it
clicked on the
was.
wrong match.
Because I've done that before. I've done it where I'm thinking, oh, this is the match, and I'm like, oh no, I guess I've had a rematch later down the line. Like I don't know, I don't know the exact dates.
That's funny.
They both get up and charge at each other. Mayu has nothing left in the tank. Like I don't even know why she bothered. Like it's just like when you're like it's like a warrior. Like I'm gonna go out on my shield
Yeah.
because she doesn't even try it. She just charges at Utami. Utami hits a running lariat and sends Mayu like landing on her neck.
Ooh. What she does that for fun though. I mean, I don't know.
But like
It's rubber up there.
that's the one moment I'd say to go back and watch. It's like the craziest thing where they both get up and Mayu doesn't even go for a move. Like she doesn't go to reverse or dodge or anything. She's like, what do I do? I just charge. Takes a
I love the fact that you said that that's the reason to watch, and you've been talking about it for 40 minutes. It sounds like there's a lot of reasons to watch, and I might as well tell you that Uncle Dave Meltzer gave this 5 stars. I don't know if you knew that.
yeah. Well, I give it 6 stars. It's fine.
Yeah, fuck you, Dave. StardomFan.com. What have you done lately?
What else does he rate? What did he rate Tommy versus Sherry?
Probably 5.
Yeah, I'll give it 6. So if he rates it 6, I'll give it 7. I got more stars than you, bitch. I would rate this match so far a love, love, love Julia out of Mayu tail.
All right.
Um, yeah, Utami just takes Mayu out with a huge running lariat. She picks her up for a torture rack bomb again, which we've said that a lot. If you don't know that move, which used to be her
Oh,
finish, where
too good.
you pick a girl up over your head, kind of like and then you just drop her on her head. Like you spin her out and like it's a power bomb. It hits her with one of those. You think she's gonna go for the pin? No. She looks at Mayu, gets back to her feet,
Yes. Those ones not enough.
sets Mayu up like she's gonna give her a power bomb, lifts her up over her head, picks Mayu straight up, starts to spin, hits her with that huge spinning razor's edge. One, two, three, and we got a new champion.
That's awesome. That's a hell of a recap. How did the crowd react at the end of that when they're not supposed to talk and they're all muzzled up?
I didn't really notice. Like the only time I ever noticed the crowd, and it's actually surprising that you would even notice it, but like it's definitely distinct. Where they're like, you can hear a pin drop at certain moments,
Mm-hmm.
and then actually it's there's two things because they don't talk. All they do is clap, and then when they're really
Mm-hmm.
getting into a moment, they aren't even clapping. They're just like focusing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then if someone takes a big move, like Mayu's great, or she like a little land on her neck, and like Jesus, she like yeah, like the ref literally dives over her to make sure she sells so good that Utami didn't knock her out. And it goes from quiet, which you think it's dead quiet, but it's not because you can hear a pin drop, like it's that quiet.
That's awesome.
And then when there's like a really close moment, like where Mayu almost stole it at the end with a roll up because it's like all she had left in her, and Utami kicks out, you can literally hear, like I said, the whole building, like the air just left the room, where you just hear from 10,000 people at the same time.
You know what? I love that. There's been a lot of those moments in the in New Japan. They're not supposed to chat yet, and it's not apples and oranges. I love comparing the two because they're probably similar, like crowd type things where they're still not supposed to chant now, right? So there's been, the G1, and no spoilers, I haven't finished the semifinals or finals yet of the G1, but there's been, Jonah beats Okada, and you just literally hear the crowd, like just not, just the biggest pop you've heard in 3 years because they haven't been allowed to talk. Like that's how you know wrestling's good. It's when you're not supposed to talk and you just clap the whole time, and all of a sudden they just can't help themselves.
Yeah, it's
Hey,
funny.
the Euro video stream showed up.
Euro or gyro? I
Well,
think
I
that's.
figured it was like the Euro with, the little lamb meat and all that good delicious stuff.
Oh, I thought it was like gyro mites. We've had a discussion before. Gyro mites, like NES.
Oh yeah, that's probably more right. All right.
So I'm not. So I know this is like I'm long-winded, but I had
Dude,
someone.
you worked hard on one. You wanted to do a freaking review. And you know what actually this gives me inspiration for? We've been talking about forever. It'd be fun to take a match, and it'd actually be fun to do a lot of them. And since there's no like English commentary that's good other than Stu, but he's not good.
Fuck Stu. I'm gonna have his
Uh
job in a couple years anyway.
That's what I'm saying. We take a match, we dub English commentary right over it, and since you know this match by heart, I see no better match to start with.
We got this new age weeb saying Utami is. This pisses me off either way because he said Utami, Azumi 1, Starlight 2, Momo, and Utami are tied. And
All right, if I may, before you get too crazy, he is also the one that has thanked you for making it so much easier and fun to follow Stardom since he just started a couple months ago. So before you go too nuts,
well, you still have time.
for quite frankly,
He's
if he's basing everything on you, you're doing something wrong. He is a Nezumi fan, despite of following your videos.
no, no. It is funny when people troll me though. Now that's actually starting to become a thing. People just comment about Azumi, which I can't tell if it's like trolling me or not, or if people really think that.
No,
Like,
I think we're the only two in the world that don't love Azumi.
yeah, I just love the story of this match because they both come out and it's kind of like because Mayu at this point she's the eye. I'm gonna keep talking about it. I don't care.
No, hold on a second. It's just so funny. Hendrix basically It's funny. It basically summed up the whole entire thing because you just hopped on chat, so you didn't know what was people were talking about because you're just doing the podcast, and he just writes, everyone's been talking for like 10 minutes at Izumi's very cool. Then all of a sudden, Stardom fan looks at the chat and says, "Hey, New Age." That's fucking funny. All
She
right.
all right. Also, the last I'll say about Izumi. It goes Utami, or just talk. I can't rank the whole roster. I don't have it in front of me. It goes Utami number one, or Queen's Quest, then Saya, then actually it goes Utami, Lady C,
Well done.
tied at second with Saya Kamatani,
Makes sense.
then Miyu,
That's all right.
then Hina, then
Yeah, she's my least favorite Hanan sister.
then the flag,
Then the then the flag's pretty cool. Oh wait, then the robes and the jersey.
then the person at the Dollar Tree who sells Utami her roses, then Izumi.
Yeah, that sounds about right. No, we didn't say Lady C's number one. We said she in Queen's Quest. She's tied for number two.
Yeah.
We're not that crazy.
But, you could also say if you're not first, you're last.
Fair enough. All right, if you want to finish the recap on the match of
Yeah,
one of the best matches of all time.
I watched this match back like 5 times, 6 times.
Sounds like it. You know
Yeah.
it by heart.
Yeah, I know, move for move. And I started noticing the little details, right? So at the beginning of the match, I talked about how they both come out looking like superstars. And then I started thinking there's some mind games there because Utami comes out and she's got a mask. Wait, that's Mayu's gimmick. Utami comes out and she's got a cool robe. That's Mayu's gimmick. Tommy
Oh,
comes
that's
out
cool.
and she's got the big ass flag, so it's basically like I'm the newer, better version of you.
Yeah.
And then Mayu, she's like, before the match starts, all right, let's give a little friendly handshake, a little competitive handshake, and she just shrugs it off. And then she's like, this bitch. Bell rings. Now she wants to shake my hand. So there's all sorts of mind games going. And like it's literally, I think she won the match before it even started because remember at the beginning I said they lock up, and when has Mayu ever been known to try to overpower anyone, let alone Utami? So she's trying to prove something here.
Yeah, she's proven a point to the big rookie, right?
And you know what? She powered through, but how long is that gonna last? You think you're gonna overpower Utami? And they lock up again, and there's more mind games. This time Utami's like, okay, so you think you're not gonna be able to overpower me. I know she knows she's gonna have to rely on being a ring veteran, but oh no, I'm a superstar, and she just starts out wrestling Mayu. She's like, I can do anything you can do better. And
That's
basically,
awesome.
the whole match is like Mayu trying to one up Utami while Utami's just focused on winning the match.
That's awesome.
So Utami or Mayu basically she just keeps doing these what she can do because she's cannot wrestle Utami. She cannot power her. Utami is strategically just dissecting like Mayu's neck and back and all sorts of things, so she doesn't have her speed. So only thing left for Mayu to do is keep doing these crazy high risk moves and landing on her head and diving outside the ring, and basically she blows herself up. I like the story of that match.
That's awesome.
And finally, after the match, I lost my
Yeah, was
notes
there
there.
handshakes? Did she
Yeah.
take the mic?
So both girls obviously they get the cold spray, they get the water, they get the ice packs. Um, Something interesting. Starlight's the one trying to help out Mayu with the ice packs and whatnot, and Mayu just shoves Starlight like to the floor and just walks out.
Oh,
He's very frustrated. And I said that Mayu was using the original red belt with wings, and being the
Yeah,
Stardom like original and all. Rossi comes into the ring to hand her the belt, and he's holding the original belt and a brand new, redesigned, shiny, clean, incredible. You know the belt, the brand new one. Obviously, Utami chooses a new belt for the new era, so there's a little symbolism there.
that's awesome. Utami's the first one to hold the new belt.
Yep. Well,
That's sweet.
I think so. I do think so. I think they did have a new belt, and then Mayu just did not accept it. She was like,
Oh, fair enough.
it was supposed to be for Mayu, and she wanted the original belt. So you could say that Mayu screwed Mayu. It's not Starlight's fault that she joined Oedo Tai.
Yo, you know what? I was gonna wait for you to pop over. I needed like a second break, and I thought since you literally, if you want to talk about deep dives, you just watched the entire feud of that. I'm like, oh no, Hendrixel.
Oh my gosh, dude! On accident, I just
I'll be
wanted to
back in
watch.
like 2 seconds.
Yeah, if you guys haven't seen that, the whole feud where Oedo Tai versus Stars is really good, and the asshole Stars. I mean, oh my gosh, that's a little Freudian slip. The heel Oedo Tai team keeps cheating, and they keep beating Stars, and they keep taking their members. It's so good. And then what was I gonna pull up? All right, that's set up. I can finally check the comments. Oh, what's good? What's good? Poi the belt collector. I don't under Poi. She at least should have been Natsupoi 2 belts. They were the artist champs for so long. I don't know why they never challenged for the tag belts. Oh, and Starlight Kid became dark. Yeah, I'm really hoping Hendrix that she stays the leader once Natsuko gets healthy. If she's ever gonna get healthy, she's been out for so long. I don't know what the deal is there. Because Oedo Tai is so much better with Starlight as the. I guess I don't really have an official leader, but it is Starlight. Mm. Well, my favorites, obviously, since I've literally spent an hour talking about one match, half is Utami's up there, and then Lady C. If anyone knows us, we know that we say Utami is like the our goddess, but it's also Lady C. In fact, since we're on the website, this is actually our website. If anyone's new here, you can check out our website. We have our goddess Lady C, entire part of the homepage just dedicated to Lady C. Mommy C. That's good. Maybe. Oh. Just waiting. Turns out I can talk forever when there's someone to talk to, but it's really I'm not good at talking on the live stream by myself. I need my friend here to come back. Mark, come back. I'm floundering. Lady C bulk, is that a thing? Lady C's bulking up? Okay. This bitch. I don't know
Hold on.
who she thinks she is, but there is only one Lady C that matters. Every
I
time
came in at the right time.
I fucking Google Lady C, this troll doll pops up. Like, I don't even care who you are.
That's actually pretty funny.
And then I gotta go,
Did you gloss over the fact that New Age Weeb said that the site is the reason that it found the channel? That might be the only time that's ever happened, and that 100% makes it worth it.
that's
My
crazy.
poorly done website that I'm slowly learning how to get better.
Yeah, while we're here, you should know something about the website. This homepage, like, it goes on and on and on and on and on. That's not by
Yeah.
mistake. It's like a little
No.
time capsule.
Yeah.
So at the end of the year, we'll refresh, take everything off the homepage, and put that on its own thing, so you can see what's like. This is like what's important to us, the most important thing at the time. Obviously, the 5 stars up there. But except Utami, we've decided that that's a little story. We have a gift factory where we have a bunch of gifts that, well, not a bunch, but we have some gifts that we like to make. And the first gift we happened to make was that Utami handing you a rose gift, and it just happened to be the greatest one we'll ever make.
I got to make the cheers one of the belt yet.
Oh yeah, the cheer. Wait, with you don't need a gift of.
Starlight and Momo take both of their belts and they sort of do a cheers.
Oh,
I
there's
gotta.
Raka.
I have a note to do that one.
Starlight and Raka did that too, or they do that.
Oh, that's cool.
And now, like,
Oh yeah, they did it when Morocco was the futures champ for a minute.
yeah, now she doesn't have a belt, so when they tag them, they just high five.
Well, easy with the Mina.
Yeah, my Himipoi as the home button. That's
I
R.I.P.
thought it was a good idea.
My Himipoi. There's always time to go back, right? She can join. She can just say, "I'm sorry." Like, I don't know.
Like, I'm sorry.
I was going through my idol phase.
That's fun. Hey man, uh, was there any? I left you for a little while. Did did want to finish that matchup? You did everything so good. Did Utami take the mic? Did you already touch on that?
Um, now I was actually floundering while you were gone.
It happens.
I had what she said. Turns out I got a little too like ambitious, thinking I wasn't gonna talk about Tommy's title win for an hour and a half.
Oh, it happens.
I got
And
all
you started yelling at me because I was talking about the Big Daddy show for fucking 45 minutes. See, it happens.
no, that's not. You were talking about watching the Daddy show, and I was like, that sounds really stupid. You're like explaining it. You're like, yeah, so I was watching a video for 40 minutes where they were just like cooking rice, and I'm like, that sounds like the worst thing ever. And then you linked me the channel, and I'm like, this is the worst thing ever. But 18 videos later, why am I still watching?
And I still can't stop watching Utami cook rice and chicken, and I don't know why. All right, well that's that. Did you wanna? I mean, if as far as podcast land goes,
I could,
I mean, we
yeah,
can do like a part 3 micro because you actually did such a good job on that that it'll end up being a podcast that's long enough to fill a thing. I mean, we'll cut out a lot of stuff that doesn't play over audio,
I might as well.
um, but it'll still be sort of long. But I still had in my notes, the end of 2020, that match you just recapped was match of the year, like between Tokyo Sports. It was either even in the Wrestling Observer as a match of the year. So she was back on getting her end of the year awards. Utami was. What I actually thought was fun was this title brought Utami back up to Utami 2 belts. And at the end of the year awards, she ends up winning Best Tag Team award with Saya.
so
So this is the exactly. This is the second time she's won that award, which means she won it the first time with Momo, the second time with Saya. So if you want to win the best tag team award, apparently all you gotta do is team up with Utami.
I'm trying to find because I might as well. Like, I got she did take the mic, and like I had it somewhere. Well, problem is, like, we got too ambitious the last time where I had my tabs up. I thought saved from the last time, thinking we'd get that far. Here we go. Found the show. Probably have to like translate it because Google sucks. I love looking at these pictures though.
Oh, the pictures on their site. Yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah, and now you have like pictures to go with my storytelling. Yeah, this was the hard. These were like the hardest move to describe here. This like Celtic like cross move. That's the one she did on the apron.
That's awesome.
Oh my god, Mayu's face here. She's like smiling. She's a devil. Yo, she's so good. Look at her. Like I've never noticed this. Her face when she's doing the dragon to Utami, she's like smiling, and here she's getting judo flip, and she's like, "Jesus Christ, I'm gonna die." Like, how could you do that? Like, you know, when someone throws a punch at you and you flinch? Not Mayu. She's like, "Oh, don't want to be laughing, crying, smiling."
Just be cool.
Yeah, it was kind of tough because, but that's what happened. Julia comes out after, and Shiri,
Oh,
and they're both wanting to challenge Mayu for the belt. Um, Shuri at the time is the SWA champ. Julia
sure.
is
It was a two-time SWA champ, huh?
no, I think she was just still the SWA champ, or maybe I have no idea. But she's the SWA champ. Julia is the white belt champ, and they're like, "Well, why don't we both put our belts up?" And I'm like, "I don't think that's a fair trade." And then Momo comes out and challenges, and she's like, "You know what? I will
Oh, that's funny.
challenge my Queen's Quest member." And then I think they walk off, and they didn't walk off. Julia and Sherry are like, "Well, why don't we challenge each other for each other's belts?" And I'm like, "They can do that? Challenge for the SWA belt?" All right, hang on. I'm gonna translate it. Uh, Not far enough back. What did she say? "I am the new red champion after defeating Mayu Iwatani. Mayu Iwatani, an icon of Stardom and the world, was really strong and tough, and I felt the weight of 10 years of that history. I will now be the."
I know tenses in Japanese don't translate proper.
Yeah, but that's not how that. No, it's not that it's translating tense. It's just like it's no. That's not what. Wait, that's what she said. Yeah, here. That's like actually Google was better for that part. "From now on, as the daughter of Big Daddy, I'll become a leader who will lead a new era of Stardom, the beginning era of my Stardom. The first opponent of this red defense will be on December 20th at blah 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 arena. I'd like a strong challenger who's suitable to face, who could be graced by my presence, basically." And basically, she doesn't call out anyone. She's like, "Is there anyone brave enough to face me?"
Love it.
And then that's her crowning moment. But then like Julia and Shiri show up and they ruin it. And they're like, "Hey, make sure you pimp out the next show." And she's like, "Can I just like look cool and close it out and like pimp it out in like the next house show?"
I'm more fascinated about Momo coming out because in the year before, Momo gave Utami a chance for Momo's white belt, and Momo won. So Momo almost has a claim for. I bet you they had a match in 2021 too. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, for the red belt.
Mm-hmm.
Um, have her title reigns here. She
Yeah, go
defeats
for it.
Momo Watanabe, and then Micah, Saya Kamatani, B Priestley. Then
That was a fun match. I actually bullet pointed that match because that's the match that was Babe Priestley's last match where she gave that like farewell that you can't watch without getting a little tear on there.
yeah, where she's
Yeah,
like stupid Momo.
yeah, and I like maybe Momo friend,
Yeah,
best friend. I'm like,
yeah,
oh,
which is funny. I always thought she could speak Japanese, but she's like Momo. Yeah, what? Damn. Chat. What? Does anyone know what she used to call her? Like B Priestley had like a feud with Momo Watanabe, and she would call her
I don't.
it's like stupid Momo or something like that. And then that sh-
Yeah.
she loses to she loses to Utami, and she's like on her way out, and she's like stupid Momo. Or like I'm sorry. Maybe you were my best friend the whole time.
I know that was so cool.
Because B
Th-
Priestley used to be Queen's Quest, so she must have like, and then she went to Oedo Tai, I think, right?
I half assumed that when Babe Priestley first came in, yeah, I think they were team members together, so they probably worked a lot.
Yeah, so it's like a Mayu Starlight situation where she goes to a
Yeah.
different group and they're rivals, but if like Starlight ever quit or she comes back, she'll be like, yeah, you know what, Mayu, you were my best friend. Then she faces Shiri, and this match goes 43 minutes and 19 seconds, ending in a double knockout. Neither of them can continue. That was a kick-ass match.
Yeah, the Shuri series is what built it. I really want that to start back over for the new Summer of Utami.
And that wasn't a actually how long they have an hour for title matches because 43 minutes 19 seconds and it doesn't say no time limit.
No. No, no, no. They did 30 minutes and then the referee started
Oh
it. And then
right.
basically they had the double count out because they just like kicked each other's ass for so long
They
that they were so tired. They just like stayed down for the 10 count.
they
It
asked
was
for
fucking amazing.
another half hour or more time.
Yeah, they gave it to him. They're like, we don't want it to end this way. And they gave it to him. That was probably one of the best matches ever.
Then she has a match with Natsuko Toro where Natsuko's knee like explodes. Unfortunately, she like jumps down from the apron, like the simplest thing that every wrestler's done a million times.
I say fortunately because I swear to you, I felt like Toro was going to win that match. I felt like she was built up to win that damn match. I was dreading that match. The whole build. I'm like, oh my god, this is going to happen. Then she hurt herself,
Yeah,
and then that opened the way for Shuri.
then she had remember from Marvelous, you just call her like Alvin Chipmunk, like Takumi Aroa, and that was actually a no time limit match, but she only needed Utami only needed like 30 minutes. That's always that's pretty cool, right? When like it's like, oh, here's a champion from another company, and then like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
the other champion like you're a fan of is like, yeah, but like come back when you're actually skilled. Then in Hazuki, I believe it's her comeback match. She just gets a World of Stardom title match.
Yeah, Hazuki's pretty cool, and but at the time, I think she came back and she had a couple matches, and I didn't quite get her, like, because I didn't know Hazuki, like, because I'm newer also, so I didn't know Hazuki her previous run. So when she came back and got a title shot, I'm like, who's this Hazuki? And quite frankly, she had a lot of ring rust. I don't think Hazuki of 311 2021 was anywhere near. eleven
I
three. That's 11. Yeah, those 11-3,
it's
2021.
because she was
For what it's worth. Yeah, in November. Yeah, because she's nowhere near as good as she is now.
no, she
Like,
was good, but
she
she
wasn't
was
as cool.
yeah, well, she was like wrestling like she was. It's like I think she leave in like 2018, I think 2019, 2018, I think. She was wrestling like she was still in like the old shitty Oedo tie, and she didn't realize like, oh, I should be wrestling like I'm in the new awesome stars.
Hmm.
And then she defeats Micah again in a rematch. So that when did she get a? I'm just looking how long between a whole like 10 months. Micah gets another shot, loses. So that's like a rivalry. That's very one sided, but it is a rivalry. I don't know if Micah's ever been able to beat Utami. They had a match for the Futures belt, and Utami beat her there too.
Until this year?
In a singles match, I don't think Utami's ever lost to Micah.
Who won the opening weekend in the oh,
The
you know me. I get Micah. Oh, did I just do the thing where I get Micah and Jumbo mixed up?
the better Himi.
Himika beat Shuri or beat Utami this year, right?
Yeah,
The opening weekend. That's what it is. Some I get them mixed up sometimes. My Himi.
yeah, I wouldn't mind. Like, Kazuki could go back. I know she's in stars, but you can go still wear all black. That's fine. That'd be cool. And then finally, that's almost. I mean, not like a. I don't think we need to do a whole breakdown of that match, but
No, but if that was it was another great one. If we're gonna sort of end the, well, we can sort of
yeah, it's
summarize like our thoughts on the Red Queen Utami to close out the podcast. But yeah, I mean, this match was great. And in 2021, the story of at least the second half of the year, maybe from May on, was Shuri's like rise and like just almost like getting there, almost beating Utami and not having enough. So when
well,
December 29th rolled around,
they teased it at when Utami actually faced Shuri in the 5 star, and they went to a draw there too.
hmm
And then Utami's the champ. Shuri finally gets her shot at her, and they go to a time limit draw a second time. They ask for more time. He's like, okay, like listen, we've already gone to 2 time limit draws. We need more time. Ends in a double knockout.
and at least in Stardom, I don't know the rest of the Joshi world, but 43 minutes is unheard of. Like 25 minutes, 30 minutes, that's almost unheard of. That doesn't happen more than a couple times a year. So like 43 minutes is nuts.
Yeah. So over an hour's worth of wrestling at that point.
Yeah, and all of it good. So it was built up for, I mean, at the time, I mean, I go back and forth on who my favorite is, but at the time I was definitely rooting for, and it was a brilliant build. I was rooting for Shuri to beat our Red Queen.
Yeah, and we've decided that this year we want the same thing to happen because
I,
Utami beat Shuri in the 5 star this year, and you had a good call where you're like, someone usually beats the champion in the 5 star and they get a title shot.
yeah, it's like awesome. It's easy storytelling, and quite frankly, if it's and they need to start like now because we're over way past halfway through the year here. They can do the exact same thing. Except it's a redemption
Well,
story.
it's not
The
the
exact same story. Utami now just like feuds against Shuri until Utami wins it back, and then they just do this for the next 5 years, and everybody's happy.
yeah. So we've decided that we really like Shuri's chase for the belt, winning the 5 star and facing Utami in December. That we just want Utami to beat Shuri for the belt. Shuri wins the 5 star, and we see it all over again.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say we also agree with we loved Shuri's race for the belt better than her title reign so far.
That actually is fascinating. What she have? One, two, three, four, five, six,
Shuri has a
seven,
lot of
eight,
defenses too.
9. So she's almost caught up. Yeah, she's caught up to Mayu. she'll have 8 title defenses, I believe. Shuri will after on this upcoming pay per view if she wins. My or Utami held the belt for like over 400 days, and she only had I think 8 defenses. Or what did I say? Nine,
Hmm.
nine, nine.
Yeah.
So going to leave it off on a positive because Utami. Unless you
Hey,
want to
can I
talk.
real quick?
Yeah, I'll say I've been
Well, yeah.
talking a lot. I don't want to feel like I'm talking
Well,
over you the whole thing.
no, it's cool. Your stuff was awesome, man. I loved it. I just thought it'd be fun because to finish up on the everything you need to know about Utami Pod. I the bullet points I had was going jumping back a little bit. January 5th, 2021. Everyone knows that is a Wrestle Kingdom date. Utami, along with Azumi, Saya, Himika, Maika, and Natsupoi, they represent Stardom for the first time in a New Japan ring in a dark match at Wrestle Kingdom. And of course, Queen's Quest wins that match.
Of course, bow down. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna need a part three, obviously, and we'll backtrack a little bit in that one, probably a little more detail. But I was gonna say, unless you want to talk a little bit about, Utami loses the world title to Shiri, 12/29/2021, so right at the end of the year. And she has a little bit of a slump where she's not really doing anything. She's like 50-50 winning and losing matches. Like she's just kind of like stagnating.
Mhm.
She had a big win over Azumi where she like claimed the throne as Queen's Quest official leader. But other than that,
Yeah. Well, that's
she
actually my bullet point for well, is the 2022. I actually literally wrote disappointing so far. 2020. And that's this that I think I wrote that like maybe right before or not including the start to the G1. Or I did it again, 5 star. We did gloss over the fact that uh, from Wrestling Observer and like Tokyo Sports, and this includes every wrestler, and the Tokyo Sports poll included every wrestler. Um, Utami won like every wrestler in the world, men, women. Utami won the 2021 Wrestling MVP award,
she
like best
also
wrestler in the world.
she also won the Stardom Fan Award for just being awesome.
Yeah.
Um, I had two more things now that I'm looking at this thing. This tab I didn't know about. So Big Daddy was actually her dad was actually at the show, and
Big Daddy.
I didn't notice there's like post match comments like backstage. That's so I had to read those. I think she goes, what about?" They ask her about her next her first challenger, Momo Watanabe. She goes, "I got one loss and one draw with Momo so far, but I am not just Utami Hayashishita now. I am a red belt champion and will lead Stardom. I'm Hayashishita Utami, so I won't lose so easily. Even if I'm in the same class, I won't give up. Since I took the belt from Mayu Iwatani, I want to defeat Momo-san as well." And they ask her, what about wrestling in this Edian? They've actually been there a few times now, but it must have been one of the first times. It's the
That's a big
Edian,
arena.
yeah. That's what they're asking her about. Like, it's your first time wrestling there, and she goes, "Well, it was just announced today. It will be held at the Budokan, and of course, I, Utami Hayashishita, will be the one walking the final runway on the main event of that stage. On the big stage, I want to show off the enormity of the existence of Utami Hayashishita." So I didn't notice that. But shit. Where was I going? Oh, you were talking about a disappointing year so far.
Yeah, so far, but then like you said, it picked up May 15. Utami wins the right in a five-way to be called the Queen's Quest leader, and then it sort of starts turning around. At least I'm a few shows behind, and as Enigma says, it's okay to say the Stardom G1 or the five stars. um, her
I
beating Shuri is huge and starts the summer of Utami. So, like, leaving it off there on, what do you think her future is? Basically, I mean, she's still young as can be, 22, and the thing is, she accomplished so much so early. So that's why it feels like a letdown. I mean, we talked about it earlier when we were watching some highlights.
No, that's what I was
She
gonna.
her
Yes,
first
that's
loss,
you just reminded
she
me.
lost. Yeah, she lost like twice in her first like 2 years. Like it's ridiculous. Like she doesn't lose. So the fact that she lost like twice already this year just feels weird. Like it feels like a bad year because you're not used to watching Utami's shoulders on the ground.
Well, a lot of her, yeah. Well, that's what I was saying because she usually gets the win for her teams, but she's still won a lot of Well, I guess you could say she didn't have a lot of singles matches. It's just been a lot of tags and trios matches where she doesn't even really lose. She just like it's just there. Like she's just been a
hmm
mediocre year where like her teammates will cost her matches.
Which maybe that's her way of taking vacation. She's like, I got my ass kicked being the champion for
Yo,
over a year.
when
Can I just be
Utami
in a bunch of six womans and like hang out for like a couple months, please? That's what it felt like, at least at the beginning of the year, right? Until she finally had a war with Saya.
Utami has never smiled more than like the first month after losing the red belt.
Sh- that's funny.
And
That's
tying
almost
that,
like the old who's that WWF? Shit. After midnight, my brain starts getting potholes. Where Bruno San Martino was like, "Yeah, I was the
yes,
champion for like 10 years," and then I said, "I can't do this anymore. I need a day off."
dude, the guy was selling out diamonds, like outdoor arena. Like there wasn't an arena big enough indoors to fit the amount of people that would pay to see Bruno. That's how much money the guy was making, and he's like, I'm just done.
Yeah, like I can't do this anymore.
And he's a champ for like 10 years, and then Vince is like, the company's really struggling. Can we bring you back for like 6 months to a year as a champion, or like build someone else up? Yeah, okay. And then a year goes by, and he's like, well, we still haven't got anyone because it's fucking Bruno. So like, who's gonna be bigger than Bruno? And long story short, it's 4 years later, and he's like, you know what? I'm just retiring. You told me that I only had to be champion for 6 months. That was 5 years ago.
I love it. That's what they did to him.
Yeah,
And back, yeah,
and
back to Tommy.
he was having fun too. I'm going like a little rant. Like Bruno's like my
Oh no, that's cool. I actually love it. I
personal
love all
hero.
that stuff. Yeah.
Actually, his mom's my personal hero, but
That's
he
true. I know
yeah.
we could do another hour talking about the history of Bruno San Martino, but I have to fucking buy Bruno fan.com real fast.
Yeah, he after like what was it 8 or 9 years as champions? Like I'm done getting my ass kicked every night. Like I'd rather, and then he like not he. I don't know if he just quits the WWE or he's not the champion anymore, and he's just like, now I get to just do whatever date I want, whenever I want, and make a shit ton of money because every single company will pay for me.
He was even in Canada for a little while. He got blackballed in the Northeast.
Yeah, and
He's fascinating.
then like the mafia. Just when you
Oh yeah,
think
that
you're
probably has
out,
something to do with
Vince.
it.
Oh, well. So speaking of the mafia, just when you think you're out, Vince McMahon pulls you back in.
All right, I wanted to close. Actually think when I'm all done slicing and dicing, I think this actually turns into a fine wrap up of the second half of Utami's career. I mean, pretty much touched on everything that mattered. You went through her title reigns and all that kind of fun stuff. And what leaves us right now, I guess, is what are your thoughts on the future? And then I did have one silly question at the very end.
Well, as the world's foremost expert on Utami, I was gonna say the thing with Shiri is fascinating. So he touched on they draw in the 5 star. They have a
hmm
title match. They draw. They have a third match at the end of the year. Utami loses. Then, in the end of December, we were talking. She has a mediocre, just first half of 2022, where she's just meddling around. The 5 star gets underway. She loses her first match, and then she's got to face Shuri in the second night, and
Yeah,
she beats her.
yeah.
A woman,
Queen in the middle. Oh my
a
god, that's
woman
so cool.
she's never beat before has only been able to draw, and she beats her in under 15 minutes with her finisher.
Yeah.
And she has comments. This is fascinating. I got my first pinfall on Shiri. That's the first time she's ever beat her. She's like, I beat Shiri.
And then she says, "Shuri."
Yeah, it's fucking Shuri.
No one beats her.
Yeah, she was really strong. But here in Otaku, the last one to stand is Utami Hayashishida. Last year, after losing the belt to Shiri at the end of the year, I haven't been able to shine as an individual. But now I'm back, even though I'm in so much pain. I have, even though I'm in so much pain, and I've only finished 2 matches of this 5 star. We will fight as hard as we can for the next 2 months. So please follow as hard as you can. Follow. Wait. So please follow us as hard as you can for the next 2 months. In 2022, Utami Hayashishida will bring you the best summer ever. Until then, have a great summer.
Love it.
Yeah, we were saying it's the summer of Utami.
Fuck yeah. So is that what you're thinking? Like, if let's fantasy book going forward. Like, who else do you think fights Shuri in December? I mean, we're assuming Shuri holds the belt in December, right?
Well,
Or November.
probably.
Yeah, right.
And then she had other comments. When I say comments, they always she. Oh yeah, she did it. They actually did give her the mic. That they usually only do that when you close the show, but I guess when there's 20 matches on a card, I
Mm-hmm.
guess they're fine with it. And then
Oh
back.
yeah, yeah, yeah. She closed. I remember that. It's like, give me the mic. I beat Shuri. Damn it.
Yeah, so that's Shuri's first loss of the year.
Yeah, that was big, and God's Eye was booked strong too. Even the Mirai number one and Mirai number two.
It's the first time. That'd be fascinating to look into too. She says that's the first time she beat Shuri. I'm like, if that's counting tags and whatnot, that might be. I think that might literally be the first time she's ever beat her.
Yeah, that's cool. So, what's your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts are Tommy's thoughts, where she says, I got my first pinfall on the world champion and my biggest rival, Shuri. She took the red belt from me at the end of the year, and since then, I haven't been able to do anything as an individual for a long time. But today is a new day. It's just one match, and I don't think of it as an official competition, but I beat the red belt champion Shuri. There's still many
Yep,
matches to go, and there'll be many more battles to fight. But in 2022, Tommy Hayashishida will make a great comeback. Please look forward to it, everyone.
like it.
Now, yeah, I don't know. My thoughts are just like I was thinking, like, what the fuck? Why is Utami like just beat Tommy? Come on. Actually, you in the last podcast you were talking about like remember she did like an interview where she was like doubting herself and we actually thought like, oh, is that real?
I think there's. I mean, she's also a professional wrestler, so no, you got to assume nothing's real, right? But learning what we learned about her in part one, like she was a shy girl.
Yeah, and she when she it was after she lost the world title and then she lost to Saya, right?
hmm
So she yeah, and she was basically just like down on herself, or she's talking about
She had an
everyone.
interview saying like I was hoping to live up to like Mayu, and I'm not sure I did type of thing.
It
Like
wasn't
so much self doubt. It was crazy.
Well, it wasn't even that. It was actually worse than that. Maybe it just translated worse, but it was her saying, "I hope I was a good red belt champion, but everyone just told me like you're not as good as Mayu."
That's what it was. Yep.
And then I was thinking, oh, there's some self doubt there, and then she's just like losing a bunch of matches, but she's back.
She's back.
So please look forward to it, everyone.
All right. Well, there's a couple people here left. I my question is because I have turned into a Hanan super fan. We're getting there. If Hanan was booked the exact same way as Utami, I might cut this out if it sounds stupid. Do you think she gets over too? Because Hanan, bear with me,
Hmm.
Hanan, futures champion, black belt in judo. Come on, she's 18. Literally, if she was pushed right now the same way as Utami's first year,
Um.
and
Well, Utami was like already a national TV star, number one.
no, her dad was.
She was there. I didn't watch an hour of Kiyoshi Hayashishita chopping chicken. So I don't know. I don't know. I think there's a little bit of like she was already well known, and well,
Yeah, there's definitely that.
at least the dad was well known. So
I just always thought that's interesting because
plus,
when they were passing the belts around, like Hanan is the futures like I don't know, out of all the young
I
people,
don't
she
know.
seems like the one that can get somewhere.
It's Tommy is the only person I think that could give Mayu like. I was thinking about Mayu. She hasn't had the belt in a few years, and I'm thinking, all right, maybe she'll get it back sooner or later. But Utami's there.
M-
Utami's
Well, Mayu's got to play with the SWA belt in America for a little bit, I assume. That's awesome.
Well, just think about Hanan is she's been there since she's like 13, 14 years old. So like I would say yes, maybe if she came in when she was whenever she won the futures belt, if that's when she came in and we got that Hanan, like you're like, whoa, who's this like
That is a
superstar?
difference for anyone who listened to the first episode where we recapped. Like all this so Utami starts at 17. She starts training professional wrestling with Io Shirai, and what was it like April-ish? And then she wins her first match in the summertime and wins her first belt like a month later. Like the craziest run ever. So you're right. I mean, Hanan and the Hanan sisters have been going at it for quite some time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, if I heard about that. We think about you know about that? There's the New Japan is gonna do Stardom Championship,
So just
and they said they can. It's not just gonna be on Stardom shows, and I'm like, I don't know. Like, why do you need another belt?
well, they want someone to travel everywhere.
But
And
that's
I honestly, I only think I bring Mayu up for that because I think she's. I mean,
but she already she
I don't know.
they haven't had
She's been in America a long time doing the Stardom or not Stardom, Ring of Honor. Like her in Ring of Honor was pretty epic.
yeah you need you
Kyrie, yo, they give it to Kyrie and they let Kyrie tour the United States. Hunter will have another heart attack.
yeah you were telling me about or Mayu in Ring of Honor before you even knew Mayu was the greatest wrestler of all time.
Yeah, I know. I started watching Ring of Honor in like 2017 or whatever, and I'm like, wow, yo, this Mayu is amazing. Has anyone heard of her before?
Where did they find her?
Where did they find this one?
I don't know. I kind of it's just another. It's gonna be a stupid gimmick belt that they probably don't need. It's kind of like the U.S. IWGP title. It's like, do you need that?
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't.
Of course they do. They don't have an Intercontinental belt anymore. That's their second belt.
I don't know. We just need to bring back the Okada belt. That's all I gotta say
Well,
about that.
Enigma agree with you on that. The worst travesty ever was getting rid combining the belts.
Yeah, I mean, Stardom's done that before, but they weren't stupid enough to like number one actually combine them. They're like, no, I just hold both the belts right now, and then get rid of them and make like a super ugly title everyone hates, and then never get rid of it.
That was my favorite thing. Was isn't that what Shuri did with the uh, SWA? She was like, "I'm a red belt champion, and so like you guys can fight over this. I don't want it anymore."
I mean, there's been a couple people. I think Io had both the white and red belt, and I think maybe no, not Julia. Someone else did at one point. Maybe Mayu. Who knows? Yeah, definitely Mayu, right? But they didn't combine it into an like uglier belt than both of them combined.
Yeah, to the point where last year Okada comes out with the old belt, and everyone gets all excited. It's like, "Oh, it's there again."
Yeah, and it's literally just a trophy.
Yeah, he's like, "No, no, I'm just using this instead of the trophy." It's like, "Can you keep it forever?"
Yeah, yeah, but like keep it. He can just carry it around, like even if like why not? Like they're not using it. Like New Japan didn't. Can I have it? New Japan doesn't seem to want it.
Right. All right. What do you say, pal? Everybody, thanks for hanging out and talking some Stardom and Utami Hayashishida.
Oh wait, whoa, whoa, whoa! You wanted to ask if we
Oh,
do?
my crazy, my stupid. Oh, well, there's only like, well, I mean,
That's
I
fine.
don't want to say only because our core fans are our core fans, the people that hang out and talk Stardom. But yeah, I mean, if this is this Utami podcast deep dive thing is something we wanted to do since we started, was like a meet the wrestlers sort of gimmick. And we decided to start with Utami, and we were going to have a vote or a poll, and maybe it'll go up on the community tab too. But you guys who are actually hang out with us are the ones that matter the most. Who would you like to see next? And we're not doing Enigma unless someone hits the super chat. Just throwing it out, or we're not doing Enigma. That was a Freudian slip. Enigma, we're not doing Azumi unless you hit the super chat. So Azumi doesn't get done for free. So other than Azumi, who would you guys like us to do a deep dive on next?
Or Natsuko Toro. That's gonna cost you. That's the super chat button.
Oh, that's funny.
I had a Freudian slip when you were gone for a minute. I was talking about Hazuki, and
Enigma says I knew that was coming. He actually listens to the podcast, so he knows I call him out whenever I can.
then
Talk for Glory. Search it on YouTube, everybody.
when you were gone, I had like a Freudian slip where I was talking about Hazuki. You know, she was in a Wado Tai, and then she's in Stars.
Hmm.
Now she's in Stars, and I was like, yeah, Hazuki, when she was with those asshole Stars. I'm like, oh, whoops, that's a slip. I
That's fun.
mean, then I just switched. I was like, with those heels, Oedo Tai, Tam Nakano,
I
Natsu.
actually like all these. Yeah, Starlight, Waka, Tam. Waka one sounds interesting. Saya, didn't you say she did like the idol thing for a minute? She'd probably be fun to do a
Mm,
little history on.
I could probably.
Tam, the thing with Tam would be a multi-parter, but
The thing with Tam is like, I don't know, Tam might be impossible because like she has somehow managed to scrub all information about herself off the internet.
I'll tell you what though, if she doesn't have an early childhood like we got to do with Utami, and she just has, if we start like the deep dive with Tam Nakano, where it's so she takes a exploding barbed wire bat and blows a girl up.
Yeah, guys,
Dude,
have you ever
you're
heard of a person who like if you Google anyone, have you ever heard of a person who's gotten their age removed from the internet? You can't Google it.
Thecla's good.
Oh, how about Lady C?
Well, lady's good. What brings us more viewers? Why do you make a video of it? I mean, Utami was a good choice. Tam's a good choice. I mean, you can't put a picture of Tam out there on your community tab without having. Wow, that's actually a good idea. Look at fucking Enigma. The Hanan sisters, just all of them. Just
I
that's not a bad idea either.
feel like I could talk about Tam blowing people up for days. You
Oh,
know,
Kogo's fascinating. There's a lot. No, that's good. This is going to be something that the podcast just turns into.
I'm sure they're
We're
all
not we're not quick enough with news or reviews to be a
yeah.
review site, but to just go down deep dives and have fun with the other Stardom fans, that's where it's at. And Tam Nakano blowing people up is definitely classic.
Yeah, we got the video. The part one podcast is up anywhere you listen to podcasts, and then I'm putting video to it, so that's gonna take a minute. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be fun.
Yeah, if you're a
Um,
podcast fan, anywhere you search podcasts, a lot of the stuff ends up on YouTube anyways, or yeah, eventually. But there's at least bi-weekly podcast that goes up, and it's just search Stardom Fan in any of your podcast grabbers, and you'll be sure to find it,
yeah,
including
usually
Apple and all that fun stuff.
usually the podcasts end up just uploaded to YouTube too, but this time I want to actually put video to it.
Yeah, when you do that, it's gonna be pretty funny.
Can I also say, because now we have Risa Sarah, who looks like she has the plague with all her scars and stuff. I was saying, how awesome is Tam Nakano, where she's like, "Yo, this is really stupid. You know what I'm gonna wear from this stupid exploding barbed wire match? Like a full jumpsuit, gloves, probably goggles, and you know what? I'm cool with hitting you with the barbed wire bat."
And she's the one that showed up to that match in like a full bodysuit. Like, I'm not gonna get hurt. Tam's not stupid.
Yeah, why would I? Yeah, like barbed wire, barbed wire. That's so stupid. Looks cool though. All right. I like the Hanan sister. I mean, they're all good. You can say anyone. Like, they're probably all interesting because you probably don't become a wrestler unless you got like an interesting life or there's something wrong with you. Either or.
It's funny. I said fuck Maki Ito, and I think you're the one that told me that she had a great match versus Tam once.
I've never seen Makito wrestle, but she is calling out
Oh, maybe it was the other small girl,
Riho.
and yeah, Riho. I think I said fuck Riho, and you were like, she had a couple good matches.
Tam Nakano has been calling out Maki Ito for their whatever they call it, their special shows. I forget the name of it. They just
Oh, that's cool.
the Stardom Showcase. She's been calling out Maki Ito. It was kind of
Oh,
funny.
that'll be fun.
And she's someone asked her like, "Is there anyone you would want to face on one of these shows? Like someone you can't face anywhere else?" And she's like, "Apparently Maki Ito is the cutest in the universe," which is kind of funny. She's like, so now she has to die."
I do like Sheeta.
Sheeta, yeah. I mean, okay, it's a good. I really like the Hanan sisters idea.
That's not a bad idea,
Is that what I
unless
call
you want to go
them?
more
Just
popular.
call them the Hanan sisters.
That's what I don't know. That's what it's funny. Whenever I see it like translated on some articles, they basically just refer to all three of them as Hanan sisters. So I'm like, I actually find that pretty funny, and that's Fukigen is fascinating, but that's got to be a three-parter because apparently she's a living legend.
Yeah, it turned into a whole part for winning the world title, but I think was important because DDP won the world title and he's been talking about it for 40 years.
That's cool. All right. Well, that's awesome. We'll decide from there. And other than that, thanks for hanging out, everybody.
Yeah, we will. I don't know. Did you want to like close it out like we do? Like any like pimp the stuff out?
Uh, I don't know what I don't know what I have.
I don't know. We just usually talk
I know I
about the
usually have everything in.
website, the podcast.
Yeah,
Okay.
while it's still recording, and close this
Yeah.
out like I you normally do the podcast and say something along the lines of for all our links, hop on stardomfan.com. It's going through a little bit of an adjustment as we find our identity, but it still has our links to the YouTube. Don't be afraid to click on the Ko-Fi or coffee link and throw a couple bucks this way because why not? Hit the
Oh.
super chat if you want to support monetarily, if you can afford it, because why not? Other than that, we do this because we are Stardom fans, and it is pound for pound the best pro wrestling in the world. Just for watching the YouTube and hanging out with us, you're supporting us, and you know, there's so every night, before you go to bed, if you click on play all under the Stardom fan YouTube, that would be a fine idea, also. You give us that'll help with all the ad revenue, right? Just be like if all 2 point something
I know.
thousand subscribers just clicked play all every night, we'd be okay with that.
And I gotta
We
take.
wouldn't even have to beg for money at that point.
I gotta make now. I gotta make a playlist. It's like just play this before you go to bed,
Uh,
and
but
yeah, play this before you
yeah.
go to bed, and make sure you click replay.
Yeah.
Wow, you got 15,000 views in 8 hours for
Yeah, and if you're into podcasts, it seems like Apple's the place to leave reviews. Anytime and whatever you listen to on, anytime you can leave a review, that helps with analytics to throw the podcast up there. I'm personally a podcast fan, so that's why I like to do audio only type stuff. We started this with basically with the intent was I couldn't find a good Stardom podcast, and there's a couple out there, and I'm not trying to throw hate, but it wasn't for me. And I was like, I'm going to make the podcast that I want, So if someone, if you know, the thing you want isn't out there in the world, just create it.
yeah.
So that's why we did this. And just search Stardom Fan, or the links for the podcast will also be on stardomfan.com. That might be all our stuff.
Yeah, that's why we're good. You're like, because I hate doing editing audio, and you're like, I love it, and like I
That's
love
my
doing,
favorite thing to do. I have such an audiophile, it's ridiculous.
and
It's way too old school of me because it probably doesn't pay, but boy, do I love audio.
and I love doing the video stuff.
So it works out. And while we're at it, I'll put it at the end of the podcast too, because it's fun, and he always shows up to our streams. People in the chat, you guys are awesome. Fucking Enigma is with Talk for Glory. Search that. He's got a podcast, and search that on YouTube. They do live streams and pretty much talk all wrestling. We had Hendrix, we had Ebzo Dobo, we had Jesus, so many people. New Age Weeb who loves Azumi, but then also I don't know, just loves Azumi. What are you gonna do? Apparently everyone does, but us can't hate on them. But no, thanks for hanging out. It's cool. It's a Friday night. Talk some Stardom, and we had fun listening to you talk for about a Utami Hayashishita championship match. That was cool, brother.
I don't know. I feel like I had something else to plug, but I don't really remember. So I guess it's nothing that important.
Yeah, videos and audio. And click play all and review.
Yeah, yeah. Play all. Oh, yeah. If you're a Blue Chew or Manscape or Raid Shadow Legends or
Oh
Dollar
yeah,
Shave
you're trying to
Club
sell
or
sell yourself. I forget.
yeah, yeah. If or like Marlboro Lights or like it's like illegal heroin dealer. Like, I'll sell anything. Pay me. You don't have to pay me a lot either. I'll sell it. um.
I guess we're rating Enigma. I was just gonna say let's rate it. Rate it, if anyone else is doing like a Stardom live stream or something goofy
Oh,
or a
there you go.
wrestling live stream. But if Enigma's doing something, I don't know. A few of us, yeah, put it up, brother, and we'll just pop over to your side. That's cool. I don't have a ton of time left in me. It's some people. I work Saturdays, but I'm ready to hang out for a little bit. Oh shit! But he's talking to G1. I didn't watch it yet. All right, everyone else but me, go talk to Enigma in the G1. I'm watching it tomorrow. Yeah, post the link, brother. Oh, that's so fucking funny. I was all excited. I'm like, man, I want to hang out on G1's live stream. I'm like, oh, I'm watching it with my brothers tomorrow. I don't want to get it ruined. I
Oh
managed to be
man,
spoiler free this whole time.
oop,
I don't even know who's in the
falling off.
finals. We're gonna watch the semifinals tomorrow, and then we're gonna close it up with the finals. That's my wrestling Saturday night.
All right, he's just stuck for glory. What am I doing? I was like, where do I find him? And I'm like, oh wait, I'm subscribed to him on the Stardom thing.
Yeah, if you got the link, throw it up in there. Maybe he can't share a link, or it's literally just as easy as search "Talk for Glory"
Yeah,
or apparently Enigma V4. And if he's going live, yeah, subscribe. Come on, subscribe, everybody. Why not?
subscribe. Please subscribe. Yes, thank you. Bye.